the bane of President Biden's presidency, just as it was for Obama, especially the second term, has been the scum bastard from Kentucky, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell. Now, McConnell is holding up, just out of pure Christian fascist bullshit, the idea of lifting the debt ceiling so that the country's debts can be paid. And it makes me furious for a number of reasons. But let me start this way. Jennifer Rubin brought this up. Biden, let's face it, doesn't always come up with the appropriate anger and ass kicking against Republicans who are putting the country at risk. He's beginning to a little bit, but I just wish he would start kicking ass and taking names when it's necessary. However, yesterday, Monday, he made some remarks about the Republicans' refusal to raise the debt limit. And what he did, he forcefully, for Biden, put to rest the lie that raising the debt ceiling, which is what is absolutely necessary right now, has anything to do with his current spending proposals. The $3.5 trillion bill or the $1.2 trillion bill, none of that has anything to do with raising the debt ceiling. And as Biden pointed out, raising the debt ceiling is about paying for the debt incurred before he took office, including the $8 trillion in debt that the Trump scum rang up under the claw of this ignorant son of a bitch, Mitch McConnell. McConnell is the one who allowed this all to go forward. And now McConnell, just out of pure political horseshit, is trying to sink Biden's presidency and any chance that the Democrats would retain power or gain power. That's what this is about. Biden said, quote, raising the debt limit is about paying off our old debts. It has nothing to do with any new spending being considered. It has nothing to do with my plan for infrastructure or building back zero, or building back better, zero, end quote. And Biden then explained this bullshit game that the Republicans are playing. He said, quote, Republicans in Congress raised the debt 3 times when Donald Trump was president, and each time with Democrat support. They, the Christian fascists, won't raise it now, even though defaulting on the debt would lead to a self-inflicted wound that takes our economy over a cliff and risks jobs and retirement savings, Social Security benefits, salaries for service members, benefits for veterans, and on and on and on and on, end quote. Yeah, I wonder how many of the Orange Vomits cult members, older people who receive a Social Security retirement benefit now. Do they realize that if Mitch McConnell doesn't raise the debt ceiling, go along with this shit, that their check isn't going to come? I just wonder. Now, not only, as Jennifer Rubin points out, not only are the Christian fascists refusing to vote to raise the debt ceiling, but they're also refusing to allow what they call cloture, I hate that word, in the Senate so that Democrats can pass it on their own. And in what Jennifer says is his most memorable line, Biden declared, quote, a meteor is headed to crash into our economy. Democrats are willing to do all the work of stopping it. Republicans just have to let us do our job. Just get out of the way. If you don't want to help save the country, get out of the way so you don't destroy it. End quote. But these are Christian fascists, Mr. President. Remember the dog in the manger story? That's what these son of a bitches are. And Biden also cautioned this, quote, in the days ahead, even before the default date, people may see the value of their retirement account shrink. They may also see interest rates go up, which will ultimately raise their mortgage payments and car payments. End quote. That's because capitalism doesn't give a shit who's in power or what the deal is. They will get theirs, or it will get that which capitalism says is mine. Now, Jennifer points out that Biden did a very good job explaining these bullshit legislative processes like reconciliation, which most of us have no goddamn idea what that means. We can't describe it. We really don't even know what it means. But Biden also made clear that the Christian fascists are using the filibuster, as they have in the past, to thwart or stymie or stop human rights attempts in this country legislatively. But now they're using it to prevent Democrats from saving the country from what Biden called a meteor heading to wipe out the dinosaurs. I wish it would wipe out people like McConnell. And as we get closer to the debt limit expiration date, which is what, the middle of October, markets may start to sink. People start to sell off, start to say, screw this, causing retirement and 401k plans to take a nosedive, because it's all based on the level where stocks that are in the 401k are in terms of relative worth. Now, Biden didn't say what would happen if Republicans don't get out of the way. And he couldn't guarantee the debt ceiling would be raised. He said, quote, "That's up to Mitch McConnell. I can't believe that would be the end result because the consequences are so dire. I don't believe that, but can I guarantee it? If I could, I would, but I can't." End quote. This is what is so fucked by this system, this Christian fascist / capitalist system that is so mired in these arcane bullshit rules in the House and the Senate that were designed 2 centuries ago to give the poor yeomen of this country, and they're all men, the ones who are not of the landowning class, some sort of power where it concerned the vote. But it's all bullshit now. These rules are ridiculous. But Rubin writes that actually the president and the Democrats could guarantee we won't face an economic meltdown. All the Democrats need to do is declare, if all 50 members of the Senate plus the vice president would do this, declare an exception to this filthy filibuster bullshit for the debt ceiling so that Democrats can pass the debt limit increase without any cooperation whatsoever from the scum that are now the Christian fascists. And there could be no better reason to disarm an unhinged son of a bitch like Mitch McConnell, who is deliberately trying to destroy, with a minority vote, destroy the country. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. And the other side of that coin, in a manner of speaking, is the Republicans want this tragedy and collapse and chaos so they can come up with these bullshit television ads claiming the Democrats ran up the debt. And the average American, not you, not me, but the average American is going to believe this shit. The Trumpists, they're going to go, yeah, see what happened? Look what Joe Biden did. Because they're so goddamn stupid. And if Trump says it or McConnell says it or these other Christian fascists say it, these morons suck it up and believe it. So Rubin asks a question that is certainly relevant. She says, so why should any minority, political minority, have the power to destroy the full faith and credit of the United States? It's time to tell Republicans to get the fuck out of the way. or Democrats are going to punch a hole in the filibuster, and I would prefer right in somebody's goddamn face, if you know what I mean. But that's just me. That's the Irish temper, right? But since these Christian fascists are utterly irresponsible, they're not there to govern. They're there to obfuscate, block, destroy, rip to pieces, prepare the ground for a return of the Messiah, Donald Trump, and the advent of pure fascism in this country. That's why the Christian fascists are there. That's what Mitch McConnell is doing and has been doing. But because they're so goddamn irresponsible, there shouldn't be a Senate rule that prevents the other side from saving the country from ruin, the other side being the Democrats. There shouldn't be a rule like that, this filthy filibuster rule. So the question now, is Biden and the Democrats going to take this opportunity to make that crystal clear and get rid of this rule, at least where it concerns raising the debt ceiling? Now, there are some Democratic senators, and we know who they are, don't we, who are reluctant to reform the filibuster. But even they should be able to see what Jennifer Rubin calls a loaded weapon, the filibuster rule, a loaded weapon in the hands of constitutional assailants. Well put, Jennifer Rubin. Maybe it's time to stop indulging these Christian fascist bastards that are only there to create chaos, to undermine democracy, establish this brand of disgusting Christian fascism in this country. I mean, we can stop them. Are we going to? Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.